How's it going, guys? And today I'll be going through an article from Famitsu which was graciously translated by Reddit user The Angry Furlong on the Elden Ring subreddit. So if you're interested in reading the whole thing yourself, I'll link that in the description. In this video, I'll go through what I think are some of the most exciting parts about Miyazaki's answers and other answers to some of the questions that everyone's been asking since the reveal of the gameplay trailer. On a side note, if you enjoy Elden Ring content, go ahead and subscribe because there will be more coming. So according to Miyazaki, in his own words, what we are aiming for with Elden Ring, in short, is a proper evolution to the Dark Souls series. We wanted to bring together all of our know-how we have built creating the Dark Souls series in terms of action, level design, and world building, in order to realize this evolution on an even grander scale. In order to do this, we of course had to have even more depth in world design and story, and we were able to bring in George R.R. Martin. Honestly, this was an extremely fortuitous and powerful addition. Now regarding the story, Miyazaki had a few things to say about it, but I'd recommend either reading the interview yourself or waiting for Vadi to make a video about it. But indeed, it does seem like we are going to very much notice George R.R. Martin's involvement in terms of character depth and drama. So having thoroughly enjoyed the dramatic characters of A Song of Ice and Fire, I'm very much excited to see what these characters in Elden Ring have in store for us. Also, there will be multiple endings and many ways to arrive there, and the degree of freedom in progressing through the game is much higher than that of Dark Souls. And that's about as much as I'll talk about when it comes to story. Now to some of the more exciting questions. When asked about the customization and weapons, Miyazaki stated, "It basically continues from the Dark Souls series. Customizing character appearance, weapons, armor, magic can all be chosen freely, raising stats to strengthen your character, etc. One of the features of this is the wealth of weapon arts we introduced in Dark Souls 3. Most of the skills in this game are not tied to a weapon, so you can try out various combinations of weapons and skills freely. You can assign one skill per weapon. However, you can swap these freely. There are about 100 in total. There are also quite a selection of weapons. Finding your favorite combination will be one of the things to enjoy. Also, completely separate from this, it is possible to summon spirits. You can summon these to become allies and fight with you while in the correct place. So that is a very interesting take on weapon arts. I guess they implemented the skill system from Sekiro and mixed it with weapon arts from Dark Souls. My question would be how these skills are actually unlocked. Do you just find them? Or, I would assume that some skills might require magic or faith, others require strength or dexterity, and others might not have really any requirements at all. It'll be very interesting to see how these skills and weapons can be combined to create very interesting builds. This could push for hundreds of build ideas, making for a very diverse set of unexpected builds. That sounds incredible, to be honest. And it seems like these spirits he mentioned, which you can capture and also level up, will be part of your build, since he did state the following. Just like with weapons, you can choose which spirits to level up, and you can choose which ones to level to match your strategy or preference. There are even some spirits which aren't of much use but are quite lovable anyways. So it seems like the summons we saw in the trailer might actually be spirits, and there's also some kind of a bird spirit in this screenshot, so it'll be very interesting to see what kinds of spirits we can get. If you look into Norse mythology, you'll find that there are lots of creatures and animals and all these spirits that From Software probably took inspiration from in order to create all these spirits. Besides that, as seen in the trailer, we can indeed jump. We can jump for a heavy attack, and we can jump to avoid low attacks similar to Sekiro. Jumping will also add to the level of exploration, and in terms of the technical aspect of gameplay, shield parries are still there. Or should I say they're back. And with regards to gameplay, Miyazaki said that asynchronous interactions like phantoms, bloodstains, and messages, users will be able to create their own groups. You'll be able to share these asynchronous elements while playing, and by setting groups through passwords, those belonging to the group will be prioritized and will have a different appearance. And so only people using these passwords become group members. There's no limit on the size of the groups, and it's up to the players to share these passwords and have fun. This new feature seems to allow players to come up with their own clans and covenants. It will be very interesting and fun to see how this plays out. I wonder what kinds of factions and covenants will players come up with. This will be a very interesting feature to see how all this plays out. I wonder if PvP will have anything to do with this. So maybe we'll have some passwords for fight clubs and such. We'll see how this plays out. And while we're talking about multiplayer still, Miyazaki confirmed that we will indeed be able to engage in multiplayer in the massive open field. However, during multiplayer, you can't use your horse, which settles the worries about the potential awkwardness of horseback riding battles. And regarding travel on horseback will be limited to the open field. You can use your jumps to quickly jump over small differences in elevation or leap down dangerous cliffs. In certain places, you can perform a large jump, making exploration dynamic and vertical. And when asked about dungeons, Miyazaki stated, "Besides the extremely thought-out vertical legacy dungeons, there are many small, medium-scale dungeon areas, forts, catacombs, caves, mining tunnels, etc. We are planning to have many NPCs, but currently there are no towns or villages where they reside." I wonder why he said currently there. I'm not sure if that was just spontaneous or if there might be something in the future. DLC maybe? There are places that were once villages but are now abandoned and a prowling place of dangerous enemies. This is because we decided to put our development resources into what we do best. Now that's exactly what I want to hear. From Software do what they do best, and it's best that they keep doing that. He continues, "Imagine the areas in the Dark Souls series, only this time the scale is larger and there may be new places you can reach by jumping, which should make exploration even more enjoyable." Miyazaki also mentioned that there will be 6 legacy areas with their respective demigod bosses. And now something that actually surprised me, as I never thought I'd see this in a Souls game, is Miyazaki's answer when asked about a world map. He said, yes, there is what you would call a world map for the open field areas. You can set a waypoint, travel to uncharted areas, and enjoy revealing the map. On the other hand, as in the Dark Souls series, there is no map in the big dungeon areas. We want you to enjoy figuring out the layout through exploration and to have that great feeling when you finally do. You know, it's really reassuring to hear that the map is only meant to serve as a guide in the massive open world areas and not in the main areas of the game or the inner dungeons and main castles or kingdoms of the game, so that's very good to hear. Miyazaki also confirmed the ability to craft items as well as healing being similar to healing in previous Souls games. And finally, Miyazaki confirmed the existence of dynamic weather, which brings new strategies as it affects the vision of both you and the enemies, as well as certain trails that are more visible at night and terrifying enemies that only appear at night. So that'll be it for this video. You know, there are quite a few details, for the most part just story details that I haven't mentioned. And I imagine more information will be coming our way as we get closer to release. So until then, make sure you stick around because I'll be sure to cover everything. I'll see you in the next one.